Hello and welcome here to another edition of Husker Chat Live. Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com. And over the next 30 minutes, we're going to go one on one in depth with Nebraska's newest member of their 2022 recruiting class, defensive back Javier Morton. But before we get to Javier, this interview today is brought to you by Sand Hills Global. If you have equipment to sell it at auctiontime.com, powered by ABM. But let's bring in Javier Morton, who is joining us here via Lincoln. And Javier, it's been probably quite a journey. I mean, you came up here for your official visit. It was over the weekend. You committed. You had to go back home and then come right back and get to work. Give us an idea of what the last 3 or 4 days have been like for Javier Morton.
Oh man, it's been a lot, man. It's been filled with a lot of getting registered and getting my books and everything. But today was my last day for all that, so now I'm settled in, man. It's been 3 long days, so now I'm in.
So when you're on the fly, you come on your official visit and you commit. I mean, what do? You go home and just start packing the minute you walk in the door? I mean, how fast was it moving for you at that point?
Yeah, man. So I actually packed a bag when I went on my official, and when I got home, I was only there for a day and a half. So that bag, I really didn't even unpack it. And then I grabbed the rest of my clothes and got out, got back on the plane.
Well, let's talk about Nebraska. Why Nebraska? How did you end up here? You were at Garden City Community College. Before that, you were a very highly recruited player out of Georgia. I believe you had over 50 scholarship offers back in high school. How did you end up at Nebraska? Just give us an idea of your path to Lincoln.
Despite everything I've been through, man, Nebraska's giving me an opportunity, man. They're giving me an opportunity that I see that no one else is giving me. So my parents like it. I like the facility, love it. Coach Frost is cool. Coach Fisher's cool guy. The guys on the team, they're pretty cool. So, man, this is where I am. They gave me an opportunity. So this is where I want to be. I can see myself here.
When did the contact with Nebraska begin? I mean, how soon into your junior college season did they kind of reach out to you?
Man, Nebraska reached out to me maybe like 3 weeks ago, like from today. Like, yeah, they maybe reached out to me 3 weeks ago from today. So it's just like they came on. Actually, after the season and all this, I took another official to UTEP early January, and right after the dead period, and like right after I came back from my official there, Nebraska hit me up, and like a day later, Coach Fisher called me back again. It was like, "You want to come on the official?" I was like, "Yeah." And it was interesting because my mom was like, "I want to go," and my mom has never ever been on a visit with me, so that was kind of special to me. I'm like, "Well, it makes her want to come."
So what they do to win your mom over? Did they entertain her?
Yeah.
What did you think of Lincoln?
Man, she basically she liked it, but it was just for her. My mom is very serious on books and education for me, so she liked everything about the learning program and everything they have to offer with tutoring and everything. So that's how they pretty much won her. And my mom had a million questions for them, and they were spot on with every question. So that kind of won her right there.
So were you in the junior college at Garden City for 3 semesters?
No, I was only there for 1 semester.
1 semester. And where were you at? So you went there just for this 2021 season? Is that right? Or where were you at before Garden City? You went from high school right to Garden City?
No, yeah. So after I got out of high school, because I was originally the class of 2020, and I transferred to a school my senior year, USA Academy, and that went wrong. So I was forced to reclass and move back to Georgia because that school was in Alabama. So I was forced to move back to Georgia and finish 2 classes that were required in Georgia. So I had to graduate with a 2021 class. And after I graduated in July, I went to Garden City.
So USA, I'm not familiar with that. I mean, is that? I mean, not to make a joke, was that like a Bishop Sycamore type deal?
Nah, I wouldn't say Bishop Sycamore. I didn't get that far. So, I don't even. I wouldn't. I never really said that it was a joke or anything like that, man. I think it was more of a, I really think it was COVID that messed it up. I never said that it was a joke or a scam or nothing like that. But I feel like if COVID would have never have hit, I feel like it would have went through.
So you
But I
guys,
mean,
they didn't play any games in
no,
20.
we didn't play any games. We just enrolled there for a semester. We did a whole semester there, took classes. So, but we never moved on campus. All the classes were online. So.
And then Garden City, you just kind of reached out, or your high school coaches, I assume, and other people kind of helped you
Yeah,
get out
my
there.
trainer, Glenn Ford, he had his son play running back for Garden City, and I went up there to watch him play versus Dodge City last semester, or in last spring, for the COVID season. His son played. I went up there and watched him play at Garden City. They gave me a scholarship to sign me.
Yeah, what was that like? I mean, your path. I mean, you've really had to earn this opportunity to get to Nebraska. You didn't make it out of high school. You go to a pop-up school essentially, and it didn't work out there. Then you had to go to Garden City. I mean,
Right.
that had not that wasn't easy, I'm guessing.
No, that wasn't the plan. But so I mean, my journey was pretty. It was pretty, a long journey. But hey, I'm just glad to be here, and I'm glad that I got to experience everything that I got to experience with recruiting, and even life just coming this far. And just glad to be here, man.
What was the toughest mental challenge you faced over the last year and a half?
Man, not playing football for a year and a half. Yeah, so before I got to Garden City, I didn't play a year and a half. I got for a year and a half. I got hurt my senior year of my high school, so I missed a lot of that. Then after that, the USA thing went wrong, so I missed that football season. And after that, I waited that semester, so I had that first, that USA would have been in that fall, the end of that fall. And that next spring, I still didn't have nowhere to play at. So then fall came around, then I was at Garden. So, I mean, that was the biggest, mental phase for me because there was no football or anything for me. So it was just pretty tough. But I was able to get through it.
Now, Garden City was pretty prevalent in Last Chance U when they featured Independence. Did you watch all
Right.
that? And
Yeah.
obviously, Coach mimics a new coach down there, but a really respected coach. I mean, what were your thoughts of JUCO life? Did you have any kind of like, man, this could make the show type moments?
Man, what? Man, I think that they should have put us. I think that they should have put us on Last Chance U last year. But man, as far as Garden City and the program, man, Coach Minnick, he runs a pretty nice program over there, man. It's pretty strict, but it's loose at the same time. And he let us play ball. He let us go at it at practice and all that type of thing, man. I kind of like how he ran it. Coach Minnick's a cool guy, but at the same time, he's about his business. So at the end of the day, he's not one of those coaches who's gonna let you go do anything if you're getting out of line or any of that. Coach Minnick's gonna get on you. So. Big ups to Coach Minnick and how he runs the program over there.
So did you have to graduate or get your AA to get out of there? I mean, what was the quality?
I came in as a qualifier.
I see. And it just, you chose the COVID thing kind of messed up your plans, and that's what sent you to the academy. And then the academy obviously didn't go as planned because of COVID. And then that got you to Garden City.
Yes, that's how I got to Garden City.
Okay. And you played now this year. Did you start every game for Garden City? Were you the starting corner? I mean, what was your role for them in the defense?
No, so essentially I didn't start every game, but I started majority of the games. It was we ran a pretty tight defense around there. We had a lot of skilled guys on our team, and we had a lot of guys on our team that were graduating and that been there for 2 seasons and that were getting out of there in December. So it was kind of like a battle, competing with those guys, and then the trying to get them to go to school in December because there was a lot of December guys that was in there. So yeah, it was good, man. I got to compete with a lot of guys, man. One of our cornerbacks was he won Defensive Player of the Year at JUCO, Keelan Kennedy. Then on the other side we had Elijah Derville, and I think he just committed to Temple, if I'm not mistaken. So it was a pretty nice run, man. Even the backups, all our backups were good too, but those two guys right there gave me a run for my money.
When you went down to Garden City, did you kind of know, like, hey, this is ideally a 6-month stop or 4 or 5 months?
Yeah. So once my coach told me, once I got up there and they told me I was a qualifier, I didn't have to do a whole year. I put it in my head. I told my dad, I just told everybody, like, I was only going to do 6 months, be there. And after December, when it's time to go home for that break, I wasn't going to come back. So I told myself that, and that's what I went up there and did. So
Now, did Nebraska recruit you in high school, Javier?
yes, Nebraska
When you were coming out of
yeah, they've been recruiting me since I was in 10th grade.
10th grade, and was it Sean Beckton and Travis Fisher? I mean, who were the guys that recruited you back then?
Coach Fisher has always recruited me. It's always been Coach Fisher. Mm-hmm.
And what did he tell you like this time around? He's like, "Hey, man, I know you've been on a ride. Let's get it together." How did he convince you, or how did it kind of go after the last 2 years?
So it was kind of a me thing, man. It wasn't even Coach Fisher's been trying to get me, man. So he's always, been on me. And then I kind of, this time what made me really, lock in with him was, the help that he gave me, because to get in Nebraska, I had to, get a couple of my grades right or whatever. And Coach Fisher was big, with helping me. And even if I wasn't going to come to Nebraska, he really just wanted to help me and, see me win. So I kind of liked that about him. And that kind of, he got my respect for that. And my mom loved him too. So that's what made, me say, yeah, Nebraska, and big ups to him.
You've been in Lincoln for a week now when you count your visit. What's the biggest thing that has surprised you about Lincoln, Nebraska?
The cold.
Oh, well, the cold. I mean, so this is colder than you're obviously used to.
Man, it's cold out here, man. It's like where I'm from, it's humidity. It's cold in Atlanta too, but it's not this cold. It's just then the wind blow on you. This cold hurt, man. I'm walking outside, man. My hands hurt when I walk.
Show me your hat that you had on before we started. Get that hat real fast. Man. I want to see that hat again.
The first thing I bought.
Let's put it on. You look like you're getting ready to run up the mountains.
Man, what? I ain't going nowhere. I'm walking to class, walking to practice.
Keeps your head warm though, doesn't it?
Man, what? This is the do it right here. I throw my COVID mask on. That keep me warm too. So I tell people I wear that for the cold.
You know what? I mean, I've been around Nebraska a long time, and what coaches will say to a guy when you say that is, "Hey, do you want to play in the NFL playoffs with the Packers or the Patriots or the Bengals?" And what are you going to tell them? It's too cold to play in the playoffs right now.
That's all. That's what I told myself. I'm glad I came out here to do this, because if I was ever to get drafted or something like that to Minnesota, any type of, I mean the Packers, Minnesota got done, but if I was to go to the Packers or something like that, at least I'd be prepared for it.
We're talking here with new Nebraska edition Javier Morton by way of Garden City Community College. Got a lot of questions, got a lot of comments. Got a comment here I wanted to show to you. Natural Born Skur, welcome to Nebraska. Hope Nebraska can help bring out your best. We'll be there for you. Go Big Red. We got one from We got one from Levi. Does he know Caleb Tanner from his Stone Mountain days?
Yeah, man. I know Caleb, man. A close friend of mine, man. Cool.
Have you connected with Caleb Tanner in Lincoln yet?
Yeah, man. I talked to Caleb, man. I kicked it with him, man. Cool.
Who are you rooming with? Do you have a roommate in Lincoln, or are you all set up?
I rooming with two transfers. One from New Mexico State, and the other one is from LSU. Two receivers.
So there's 10 of you transfers, I think, out here right now. I mean, you almost kind of feel, I mean, I know you're all part of the team, but you guys feel kind of like, hey, we're the transfer team. I mean, you guys kind of rolling together. Right?
We feel like we all feel like we changed. We they brought us in for us to, come in right now. There's a reason why they went in the portal and got everybody and went and, got a whole bunch of JUCO transfers, because they want us to be the change right away. So we know that what responsibility we got in the program or whatever, and how we're coming in. So that's how we see it.
Have you been able to lift or run yet, or do you still have to kind of get through all the conditioning tests before you're cleared to do all that stuff?
I took my conditioning test today, so I got cleared today, man. I killed myself out there.
Yeah, I mean that beep, the beep test,
man.
I've heard horror stories of guys that fail that deal, and I'm sure there's probably somebody that has in your group. But I mean, give us an idea. What is the conditioning beep test? And it's kind of one of those tricky deals that more people fail than you would think.
Yeah, the beep test is basically a test. I think you got to run 22 yards back and forth in between the beep for like 9 stages, and like in between each stage, like you may have stage 1, and it might ring. It might have a 3-second interval before each beep. where every time you go up, it might go down 2 seconds. Once, like it just goes fast. It's basically like our pacer test we took in high school, cone to cone, to see who the last one that could run. So that's how I was able to beat it. I kind of put it in my head. Like I remember when we was in high school and everybody would run do the pacer test. Man, I used to always be the last one, so I know I could do this. Like,
so you don't know when the next beep's going to hit. Like you have to kind of just know in your mind.
You gotta be done counted, be done caught on to the beat, to the rhythm.
And if you don't pass it that day, do you have to come back the next day, or do you get like a second try on that same day?
Yeah, you get another try. I mean, I don't know if you got it to get cleared, you have to do it. So I imagine that you come back right back and try to do it again. Because before you got to take that to be able to do anything.
So beep tests in. It's Friday night in Lincoln. I'm guessing you get the weekend off. I mean, you get to kind of relax a little bit, and then Monday it's really go time.
We back at it on Monday. I'll be lifting. I'll be doing everything with the team on Monday.
As we're talking here with Javier Morton, once again, this chat is brought to you by Sandhills Global. If you have equipment to sell it at auctiontime.com. Powered by ABM. Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline with Nebraska transfer defensive back Javier Morton from Garden City Community College. Another question from Trevor. Who was your host on the visit?
Quinn
Newsom.
Right.
And were you surprised by that? I mean, there's kind of a lot of Georgia guys on this team, offense and defense. I mean, I don't know the exact number, but there's probably a good 6 to 10 Georgia guys on the roster.
Yeah, it's a lot of Georgia guys out here, man. And I wasn't really surprised. You know, I knew that they were out here. These are my personal friends. I played 707 with Quentin, so like these are my personal friends from high school. I've been knew these guys for a long time, so it wasn't really a shock to me. But you know, Lincoln actually was, you know, what they had to offer up here. I never knew that it was like this, but I kind of always figured that they had a crazy fan base because when I was younger and they used to recruit me and I used to post their little edits. Like that used to get the most, like out of every school I posted, Lincoln, that Nebraska used to always get the most likes or whatever. So that's
all right. I got another question here from Trey Loper. What player do you feel you play like? Is there a guy that you like to watch, study, kind of model your game after?
Not necessarily that I model my game after. I mean, there's a couple of guys that I watch them and take a couple of things and try to put in my toolbox, but not necessarily a player I think I play like. I don't. They never really compared me to anybody. Like as far as what people gotta compare me to, I never been compared to nobody, and I don't see myself. But when I play, I want to have a name like Jalen Ramsey. When people talk cornerbacks, then I want you gotta talk Javier Morton. So that's kind of how I want it to be.
What's your height, your weight, and your 40 time, and your vertical?
6'2", 193. I haven't did my vertical yet. I ran my 40. Clock 4.59 around there. So
4.59. Okay, I thought you said 4.95. I go, boy.
No.
you better switch over to a different spot.
Nah. Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
I was like, wait a minute. We better clarify this. John says, welcome to the family, Javier.
Appreciate that.
John. We got Tyler, and he wants to know, have you ever thrown the bones up before? If not, would you be willing to throw the bones up here for the first time?
Yeah, I threw the bones up when I actually, that was like the first thing I did when I arrived. I don't know if you've seen my commit video, but yeah, that was kind of what I did when I first got on here. But I thrown up a few guys one time.
All right. There you go.
Yeah.
Up here. So you're familiar with the black shirts. You know what the black shirts are?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's got another question here. This is from Phil. Just said, thanks, Sean. Great kid. Welcome, Javier. You are family now.
Appreciate it.
Got another question here from Colby. He wants to know, first of all, welcome, Javier. Go Big Red. What number are you hoping to wear? Obviously, I know sometimes it's out of your control if you get a pick, but is there an ideal number that you'd like to have?
Man, they let me pick. I want a number. I personally like number 2, but Caleb's wearing that number, and I know he's gonna be here, so he's gonna have that one. So I really want to wear number 0, man. If I get number 0, then that'll be cool too.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Feldarius Payne, who's also an outside linebacker, right. He's got number 0.
I know.
Then,
I just talked to him, man. I told him like, well, he coming. He just literally told me that, he was coming back because I thought that he was in the transfer portal. I thought that he was going to transfer, and he just literally told me that he was coming back. So that's what number I wanted to choose from, and he just told me that. So like whatever number that he, I'm not really stressing on the number.
those single digit numbers are kind of a hot commodity. I think a lot of guys want.
Man, I ain't wore single digit in a minute. I wore number 21 at Garden City. So even if I was getting number 21 or something like that, I wouldn't be mad.
All right, let's go here to some more questions here. Kind of already hit on this, but any more thoughts about Lincoln? Have you had a good meal in town yet? Have you done anything fun besides moving and kind of getting set up?
Yeah, I actually went to Heroes, man. Quentin them took me to Heroes, man. That's a nice little Chinese spot,
Got some
man.
sushi?
I got some Yen's chicken with the rice. I put the rice on there, man. That probably was the best thing I ate since I've been out here. I went to Abe's too. Great Abe's, how you say it?
Honest Abe's.
Honest Abe's. Yeah, I went there. I ate there last night. That was pretty good too. They got some good burgers.
Good burgers and really good fries too.
Oh yeah, fries too, man. Fries off the chain.
All right, let's go here through some more questions here as we're talking with Javier Morton. You already kind of hit on this, who your roommates are. What do you like? Here's another question about the defense. What do you like about defensive coordinator Eric Chenander's scheme? Have you had a chance to kind of talk scheme and look at what Nebraska does?
Yeah, I have. I talked with Coach Chen about the schemes or whatever, but we didn't really get into the schemes. We talked about the defense. It was more of a scheme thing with Coach Fisher. I talked to Coach Fisher about how he runs the DB group or whatever, but I haven't really sat down with any with Coach to go over the schemes and stuff like that. But I imagine me and Miles said we were gonna sit down and he was gonna show me the stuff from last year, last season, and we're gonna review that stuff. He said they had a pretty solid defense last year. From what I seen too, they were pretty solid on defense. So whatever they got for me to learn, and I'm willing to learn. I want to have an early jump. So as soon as possible as I can get into the playbook, I'll be in it.
What do you know about the Big Ten? I mean, are you excited to come in this conference? What do you know about the teams and kind of the places you're going to go? Give us your thoughts on just kind of, you're an SEC guy, essentially, I guess, in Georgia Tech and the ACC too. But, what do you know about the Big Ten?
Man, I really didn't have any knowledge. Like, I mean, the teams, I know that this is not a weak conference or nothing like that. I know this is like, because I always looked at the Big Ten like to be right behind the SEC. Like, as far as competition wise, like I'm looking at position wise, like the SEC always got the big backs or whatever. That's kind of like a Big Ten thing too. Like they always have the biggest backs. And then like the competition wise, it's either gonna be SEC, Big Ten is always gonna be somewhere in college football playoffs or something like that. So to my knowledge, that's what I know about the Big Ten, man.
Now you come with 3 years of eligibility and you can still redshirt, is that right?
Yes, sir.
What are kind of your goals? I mean, as you kind of look at your plan, this is from Mantrell. What are your plans and goals for the field this year? I know that's a tough question because you haven't even put on pads yet and you don't really know your teammates. But I mean, do you kind of say like, I'd like to get on special teams or like to get on this right away? I mean, do you have kind of like a track that you'd like to follow here at Nebraska?
Yeah. So, I would, yeah. So, first, that is my first goal, like to get on special teams, start special teams, and dominate that way. And after that, man, I really my biggest goal is just to, essentially whatever I have to do for the team, then I'm just willing to do it. So we won't have to have a season like last year, or any other type of season. So, that's my biggest goal, man. Come in and be a big factor and hopefully we can make a change to Nebraska.
Got a question here. What Nebraska, I don't know if you know this, but they opened the year in Ireland. I'm sure that's something you might have learned. Are you excited about that, to go overseas and play the first game of the college football season in Dublin, Ireland?
Yeah, man, I am excited to go out there, man. I've never been out of the country like that. I done been on cruise before, but not to play no football. So, yeah, that'll be big for me, man. I can't wait to get in the experience, man.
All right. Got a question here from Jack. Do you know much about the new facilities? What do you think of Nebraska's new facilities being built? It's about $155, $160 million project they're working on right now.
Yeah, man. So after they built it, they said it'll be the biggest one in the country. But it's man, it's high tech. They got they actually showed me like a preview of it and how the new weight sets were. Man, it's something I've never seen before. So I'm pretty excited to be in it next spring. I think it should be done. So yeah, it's pretty exciting to get into. Considering what the one look like now, the one that they got now, it doesn't look bad, but so that just gives me an idea. Like the next one that they gotta that they're gonna have, it gotta be the best one. Like so.
All right, got a question here from Parker. Wants to know what team or game are you looking forward to the most next year? I mean, have you studied the schedule? Do you know much about who you're playing? Is there one on there that you're looking forward to? And by the way, you play Georgia Southern. I'm sure you might know a couple guys on that roster.
Yeah, I was on. That was gonna be my. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that game, man. I got a cousin that play outside linebacker. He played all over the linebacker position, but Kevon Glenn, he plays for Georgia Southern, man. I'm kind of looking forward to playing that game, and it's on one of my auntie's birthdays, so I kind of am anticipating that game. That's a big one.
And then this is a question from Trevor. Who is the best receiver ever that you've gone up against? High school, college, prep school, or wherever, in your opinion?
The toughest receiver I ever went against, one of my closest friends, Deshaun Stoudemire.
And where did he end up going?
He goes to Troy now. He plays receiver at Troy.
Okay.
Right.
Got a question here from Levi. Levi wants to know, does Garden City play New Mexico military? Are you familiar with Anthony Grant, the running back you guys added?
Right.
What do you know about his running style? How hard is he to tackle?
Nah, so we actually didn't play the New Mexico military. Only way we would have played them is in the Natty, and unfortunately we didn't make it to the Natty. We never played against him, but I mean I have watched Ant though. Ant, he got a nice running style over there. He looked like just to look at him, from here, me watching him, he doesn't even look like he's easy to tackle. So I know it's gonna be a scary sight with him running at other players in the season.
Well, and he's a Georgia guy too, I believe, right?
Right.
So
and he got Georgia blood in him. So that's
how
another
far.
scary thing.
How far are you from where he was from? Do you know?
So he said he was from Buford, Georgia. So that probably would be like 45 minutes from where I am.
Like everything is almost right around Atlanta. Then there's kind of like the country Georgia guys, right? I mean,
exactly. So you got all of this Atlanta, and then you got South Georgia. South Georgia, that you're gonna hear about as far as football. You're gonna hear about, Atlanta. Then you're gonna hear about South Georgia. That's the teams like Lee County, Lowndes County, those big schools like that, Valdosta, those big old schools. So
all right, got a question from Marcy here. And we kind of hit on this, I think, but I know you said you visited UTEP. Besides Nebraska, like who else were you really considering? You had your mind made up. Obviously, you're going to get out. I mean, once you got the Nebraska contact, I mean, was that really it? You're like, okay, we're going to make this work. I'm going to Nebraska.
Yeah. So once I noticed that Nebraska was actually, putting that effort to really bring me in, because I done been through the recruiting and, about to get signed to places a couple of times. So like once Nebraska hit me up and was actually like, you can come in right now, January, like that kind of, took it from me. And I was just like, if you guys can bring me in right now, then I'm coming. Like there's gonna be no debate about it. And Coach Fisher made it happen. Coach Frost made it happen, man. So I'm up here. They told me they were gonna do something. They did it.
Got another comment question from Ryan. Welcome to Nebraska. We love your commitment. Look forward to seeing you guys work hard and perform on Saturdays. Thanks, Ryan, for chiming in here on the live chat.
Appreciate it.
Another question here from Mantrell. And I know this is kind of a tough one on the spot for you, I know, but do you have any personal accolades that you'd like to achieve in your 3 years you'll be here?
Yeah, man. I actually want to come in here and just like any other college football player should want, man. I really want to get a natty out of here, man. If we could get a natty, man, that would be nice. I kind of want to come here and set my name in the program too, man. I know I worked hard for everything I've got, so I know it'd be a good look for me to come here and leave my mark in Nebraska, man. I wouldn't want to leave it nowhere else. So that's kind of my goal for over the years, man.
When I know in high school you were a commit to Alabama at one time, right?
Right.
I mean, just the little you were around at Nick Saban and just his mind, I mean, what did his kind of mentality teach you about the game? And just, obviously it didn't work out with Alabama, but I'm sure you picked up a lot of things in the time you were around that program.
Right. So first, I want to shout out to Coach Saban and how Alabama and how he runs his program over there, man. But it was pretty cool experience, man, to be around Nick Saban and all the players that I got to see, because when I committed to Alabama, I was actually in the 10th grade. So like when I committed, Calvin Ridley was still there. So it was kind of like I got to see a lot of great players go through there, man. And for me, these same players that I watched, Patrick Surtain, a lot of guys that came through there, I watched them, being younger when they were in high school. So it was kind of cool to see them up there and really put their name in the system at Alabama, because at the time, I feel like Alabama was the biggest program in college football. So if you can leave your mark there, then that's good. And I like the way Coach Saban played his program. He doesn't play off of favorites, or he doesn't want to make your day. He don't want to make you smile. He kind of like straight about his business, like, so I kind of respected that. And he when I went on my visit up there, Coach Saban never, fed me into the recruit visit lines and all that type of stuff. He kind of was straightforward, like, hey, this is how we run this. This is what we do. If you want to go to the NFL, you want to play here, this is what you got to do. So I kind of respected that. And, the kind of guy that I am and the kind of guy that my dad raised me to be, I just see myself being in there fitting right perfect with him.
Did you have to camp? I know a lot of guys, when they commit there, have to work out there and camp there. Did you do the Nick Saban kind of workout camp to get your commitment back then?
Nah, I never did a camp at
okay.
Alabama.
Yeah, I always read stuff how they almost require guys to work out there to get offers a lot of times. Wasn't sure, but yeah, that's an interesting thing. I'm sure just it's motivation. Like, hey, I was right there. The top coach.
I worked out up there before, but it wasn't for a camp. I worked out up there. I did work out for a coach before, but that was after I was already committed. I was just up there working out.
All right, final question from Marcy. She wants to know what motivates you and how do you stay focused? Thank you, Marcy. Or Mark, excuse me, Mark. Mark.
What motivates me is my past, man. Everything I've been through, man. I've been through a lot of stuff to get here where I am now. I just feel like, I came this far and been through everything I've been through. So why stop now? And my mom or dad didn't raise me like that. My parents didn't raise me like that. So my story is actually what motivates me, man.
Well, Javier, this has been a lot of fun. This half hour has flown by. Appreciate you taking some time on a Friday afternoon. I'm sure you're trying to get all moved in and settled into your new apartment. So we appreciate you taking some time here as you share your story and your path to Nebraska.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Well, that wraps it up here for this edition of Husker Chat. Once again, we are brought to you by ABM brought to you by Sandhills Global and powered by ABM. If you have equipment to sell it at auctiontime.com.